Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Hope you've had a good week and all that jazz. Man, it's been a super quick week again for me. Just seems to fly by. Now we're going to check out one of my favorite, what I'm going to call house bands, which are basically bands who send over their stuff pretty much every time it comes out. Love being on the show, and I love having them on the show as well. And these guys are one of my favorite bands that do that because every time they've come through with a super high quality track that's really nice. It's different each time as well. It's not all just the same track, but, you know, a different one. It's different stuff, different things going on in each track, which is really nice. And it's all homegrown, done themselves, recorded themselves, mixed and mastered, all the rest of it. And it's super high quality. And for this kind of music, it really matters as well, because we're listening to some music with clean vocals, lead vocals. And to get that right is A, super important, and B, super hard as well, because when you're working with a clean, reverby vocal and a lead vocal, it's got to be right. And if it doesn't sound right, if it's not mixed right, it ruins the whole thing. These guys absolutely nail it every time. Now, the last time they were on the show, it had more of a ballady track, a slower track. And I did say in that video, this track's so accessible and sounds so great, even my mom's going to like it. I didn't mean that as a kind of, even my mom's going to like it. But, you know, it was that good that, you know, someone like my mom was going to love it as well. Well, because I said that in the video and I told her I spoke about her in the video, she watched the video, listened to the track, and she absolutely loves it. And these are now one of her favorite bands just from one track. I went round her house the other day and she said, I've played this song 6 times already, and it was only midday. And she absolutely loves it. And I've seen her again today and she said, I'm still playing it about 6 times a day as well. So it just shows you, you know, you can make music and it just be one really great track. That's my cat. And they absolutely, some people absolutely love it and really get on board with your band. You know, she loves this track as much as she loves any track that she's heard, really. And to be playing it 6 times a day for like a month or so afterwards as well, really, really sick. So there you go. We've got a big fan of my mom for this band. I'm not sure she's going to enjoy today's track though, because they've told me already that today's track is way heavier. It's got screaming and shouting in it as well. And my mom is still one of those people that whenever she hears gutturals and death metal vocals and stuff like that, she thinks it's the devil. So there you go. Let's check this one out today. This band's called Bleeding Sun. Their track is called Vintage Hammer, which I think is a really cool name. This is a lyric video. Let's give it a spin.
It's exquisite, I know it is.
Much heavier. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Oh, he's got a great scream on him as well. Yeah. Killing it. Everything sounds great. Oh, we're not done. Sick. Let's have a quick look at this performance video as well.
It's exquisite, I know it is.
They should have done this as a video. Got a nice wall of guitars. Man, Brett is such a versatile musician. Cool. This bit's dope. Nice drumming. Ken's got some lungs on him as well. I'd love to see him at the drum kit doing this though. Yeah. Nice. Sick. Oh, I forgot that's not the end of the track. There's just a bit more. I enjoyed this video a million times more than the lyric video, and my advice to these guys would be put out these kind of videos rather than doing a lyric video, because I absolutely loved it, seeing all the band playing the stuff, seeing the wall of guitars, seeing the bass, seeing Ken on his drums doing sick stuff, seeing that he'd actually done some of the vocals, which I didn't realize from the lyric video as well, which is sick. And he's the dude with the super gravelly, deathy type vocal as well, which is dope. And I just really enjoy seeing that performance video much more than a lyric video. Offers me personally so much more. Maybe some people love lyric video more than that kind of video, but for me personally, seeing all that extra stuff, seeing the band and all the extra stuff that you can get from that kind of video is way more kind of just more interesting to watch than just the lyrics on the screen, you know? So maybe think about that. If you wanted to make it more of a music video than just kind of like a straight up performance vid, you know, maybe don't just sit at your computer playing the guitar, try and find a cool location to play your guitar, or like that wall of guitars looks sick. And then maybe just, you know, black and white it up or put some effects over the top of that. But man, I would much, much rather see that performance video, and I'm really glad we were able to click on that and watch it afterwards than the lyric video. So there's my opinion on that. Really enjoyed the performance video. Now, I'm going to say these guys are absolutely sick. Dope on a rope. I love them. I think they're one of the sickest bands that we've got on this channel. And I just want to show you here as well, because I want to say to these guys, look, these guys have got 300 and basically 400 on YouTube, basically 400 on Facebook as well, and just 162 people following them on Instagram. I don't want these guys to get discouraged by the numbers that they're currently pulling in and make them feel like, man, this band's going nowhere, or we're not producing very good music or anything like that. Because these guys are one of the most quality bands that we have on the channel, but probably the most quality bedroom band, you know, DIY band that we have on the channel. I think they're absolutely top notch. Their sound is as good as anyone out there. Their composition for this kind of music is as good as anyone out there, and it's varied. And today they've shown that with this heavier stuff, and it sounded absolutely great. You got the mix right on that. One thing I am going to mention, I think the bass drum and maybe the snare was like half a dB too loud. It was just a little bit in front of the guitars. I think it could have just been slightly back, but really it's such a minor thing. And that's down to personal preference as well. But it sounded absolutely great. Dropped into that chorus really nicely. The heavy vocal sat in the mix nicely as well. Wasn't kind of too forward or anything. And as well, when the singing vocal came in, it was all reverbed up and spacious out. So everything just sits in this mix really, really nicely. It meshes together. And sits together. It feels cohesive, like a proper mix should do, like a professional mix should do. That's why I say these guys are absolutely top notch. And when you consider they're a three-piece band doing it themselves, man, they've gone above and beyond what you should expect from these kind of bands. So I just want to say to them, don't worry, you know, don't worry your head about the numbers at the moment. Just focus on the music, because the numbers hopefully will come in the future. And that's just a case of people finding out about you. But in terms of the music, you're absolutely nailing this stuff so hard. And when you consider as well that it's a DIY band, it's super impressive to me, the sound and the quality that these guys are getting out of it. And I will have to say, it does seem to be Brett. I mean, all the guys in this band are really great musicians, but Brett is a super versatile musician, because he's the guy, you know, who does the vocals, he does some of the guitars. He's been doing some of the bass as well in the past, but he's a guy as well who does the mix on this and is you know, he's got the professional ear and the ability to get a super high quality mix. And it just puts this band so high up there in terms of their sound and their quality that whenever anyone hears it, and my mom is a perfect example, you know, my mom doesn't like underground heavy bands that, you know, sound like the underground, because she likes quality bands, but she loves this band. She thinks they're absolutely superb and cannot stop listening to them all day long. And that tells you that these guys are, you know, are achieving the level of quality and professionalism within their sound and their composition and what they're doing, that moms and pretty much anyone out there that could catch an ear on this stuff will recognize that and will enjoy it because of that. So don't worry about the numbers at the moment. You know, that's a separate thing to the quality of your band. So really, please, I would hate to see that these guys have just called it a day because they're like, well, look, we never got over 500 followers, so we just thought, well, sod it, we're wasting our time. And that's going to be a sad day if that ever happens, because these guys, regardless of how many people have heard their band, are producing amazing music to a super high standard. So regardless of how many people hear it, that's a fact. So they're just a great band. I really, really enjoy them. And I really, really love that they're one of our house bands, and I really like being on the show and hearing me talk about, I mean, how could you not like someone talking about you the way I talk about this band? But I couldn't say anything else. You know, I'm not bullshitting these guys or, you know, blowing smoke up their ass or anything like that. I genuinely think that these guys are one of the best quality DIY bands that we have on the channel, and they're up there the same with the professional bands that come through on this channel as well, that have all the money and production companies and everything else behind them as well. These guys are as good as those guys, objectively, I would say as well. So there you go. That's what I've got for you today. Really nice way to end the week for me. Love checking out these guys, and I've enjoyed this heavy track. I think they got sick growls as well as singing voice, so I wouldn't mind seeing more of this stuff going forward. But if you want to keep my mum on board, you got to do a couple more ballad tracks as well in the future, because she loves them. There you go. Hope you're having a good week, guys. We might see you over the weekend. If not, we'll see you back for the Monday grind. We've had a nice week as well for release on the grind. If you're checking out the releases today, there's some nice death metal come out today as well, so check that out. We'll see you around, guys. Have a good one. Bye.